Question. Are you ethical? Question. Are you ethical? I was asking myself, am I ethical? I'm thinking, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I don't know. You don't know? No. I think I am. I never get it called on to question my ethics. I never have any ethical dilemmas. How the hell do I know? It's easy for me to say, yeah, I'm ethical. Well, what do I ever do that involves me saying, well, I'd like to do this, but I can't. I don't have any life and death decisions. I'm not involved in war. I'm not whatever. I got into a big argument with a friend, not a big argument, about Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger's a war criminal. I said, why is he a war criminal? Why? Dwight Eisenhower is a war criminal. We're a Dwight. War is a crime. What are you talking about? No, wait a minute. Dwight Eisenhower and MacArthur and Schwarzkopf and all these other people. Where do you get off thinking you're so high and mighty and moral? Well, it took off. Do you consider yourself moral? When was the last big moral decision you had? When was the last time you said, should I keep the $20,000 that I found in the wallet on the ground, or should I turn it in? Do I drop the bomb on this village, or do I not? Do I what? What are you supposed to do? What? Let me ask you a question. You're a priest. You're a lawyer. You believe in this notion of this thing called the privileged communication, right? You have to, in order for you to go to confession, or I think they call it reconciliation. You have to tell people, listen, if you tell me this, I'm not going to turn you in. Are you sure? Of course. Who would go to confession? Who would talk to a priest or anybody or a clergyman if you're going to say, okay, now you've done it. I'm picking up the phone. I'm dropping a dime on you. Wait a minute. You told me that well, I did, but I didn't think you'd do that. Wait a minute. What do you think crimes are or sins? Well, sorry. So we all believe in this, right? Right? Don't we? Don't you? I do. If you come to me as a lawyer and you tell me, listen, I killed these people. If you told me that, and if it's under the right circumstances. And by the way, you don't have to give a lawyer $1. I don't know where that came from. Well, it's consideration. Here, give me $1. Now I can tell you. No. Are we talking about this in the capacity? You're not just coming in and cleaning the office and go, hey, how you doing, Jeff? Yeah. I killed somebody. Wait, what? Well, you're a lawyer. You can't tell anybody. No. Wait, no. I'm sorry. That doesn't count. Hey, how you doing, Padre? Fine, yeah. I killed somebody. Wait a minute. No, it's got to be in the situation of either the consultation and the situation where I not contract you, but I understand. I'm asking your advice as a lawyer. Okay, you got that? Good. Let me ask you this question. You're a priest. Somebody comes in and says, I'm going to ask you a question. If I tell you something now, you're not going to tell anybody, right? No. You sure? Absolutely. So I can tell you this in the capacity of a priest. There's nobody else. By the way, they always say in a situation where a reasonable expectation of privacy. This is where they always say there has to be a reasonable expectation of privacy. You can't tell somebody at a party or in front of other people. You're in a room, nobody else is there. Yeah, tell me. Okay, Padre. Here's the thing. There's a guy on death row tomorrow. They're going to put him to death? Yeah. For this guy that they say he killed? He didn't kill that guy. I did. Have a nice day. What do you do? What do you do? You told him something. Where are your ethics? Where are your ethics? That life doesn't give you that. Henry Kissinger turns 100 years old. How did this guy look? Does he look like he's healthy enough to... These people live a long time. The shadow government. David Rockefeller, what was he, 130? I don't know how old these people are, but they must, I don't know, they get something. Is no more immoral than you are. Do you want to be a world? Do you want to move things around? What do you think about people who went to Vietnam and said, "Hey, I'm a V. Yeah, what do we do, Sarge? We're going to go to that village and we're going to torch that. We're going to light that village. What? You're going to get your Zippo and you're going to go in there and you're going to light that village because we think these. See. And we're going to go there and we're going to light this thing and we're going to take all their food and we're going to kill their whatever it is. And you know what? And this might have happened, like not at all. Or basically, very simple, very around downrange. A downrange? Wait a minute. There's people there. Yeah, I know. Well, why am I doing that? Because you're in the army, you idiot. What are you talking about? That's what we do. We're in the army. You're gonna send them around. Wait a minute. So do me a favor. Don't give me stuff about we're moral. We're moral. Let me ask you another question. Who defines your morality? You or God? Who tells you? Who tells you what is moral and immoral? Who tells you? Are you a good person? Let me ask you something. Are you a good person? What does that mean? If somebody says, am I a good person? I'm not a bad person, but am I a good person? Not really. What do I do that's good? I don't do anything good. I don't do anything bad. I don't really do any bad things. I open the door for people. I don't want to hurt anybody. Is that good? Is that your definition of good? I don't think so. You better stop and think about this thing because you've been walking around for a long time thinking, I'm so good. I'm so moral. No, you're not. You just don't do anything. You never have to do anything that involves anything different. Now, let me talk to you about this one thing. Elon Musk. I did a fantastic video. Just did one, and I hope you are you make sure you sign up for my channel there. This one, I loved it. You want to hear the name of it? While it renders, it's called Elon Musk, Neuralink, Transhumanism, and Inconceivable Bioethical Nightmares. I love this. Let me ask you something. I'm asking a lot of questions tonight. Do you remember in the 70s there was a commercial for it was called, in fact, here it is. Here is the link. Sign up for this right away. Here's the link. There it is. There we go. No, hang on a minute. That's not it. That's not the one I want. Just a second. I'm going to get this for you because it's good. It's nice and greasy. By the way, greasy, that was a great way. I think it was Aretha Franklin referred to great soul music as greasy. Anyway, stand by for a second. Okay, here we go. And there it is. Ta-da! There it is. Now, I don't know what the hell I was saying. Elon Musk, Neuralink, transhumanism, human animal chimeras. You got a problem with that? Do you think that God would have any problem with what you're doing? Have you thought about this? I know it's a Saturday night and you ain't got nobody. But do you think that would be a bit of a problem? When does God say, whoa, 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 hey, what are you doing? It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. What are you doing? What do you mean, God? Yeah, I'm just expanding. You're doing what? I don't want you to do that anymore. No, God, we're helping, but I don't want you to do that. I never told you can do that. Don't mess with this. Don't mess. What are you doing? Gene therapy? Don't you? No. Don't do that. That's my division. No, God, you don't understand. You see, the gene therapy I know what I'm doing. What are you doing? Well, we're gonna. You haven't even considered what's happening yet. Here's one for you. I'll never forget this. There was a woman who was listening to a lecture, and somebody spoke and said, in the next whatever years period of time, we're going to make Down syndrome extinct. And she said, wait a minute. My son has Down syndrome. He said, oh, no, we're not gonna, no, he's fine. There just won't be any more. I swear to God, I saw this. Excuse me, we love him. No. But we're just never going to see this anymore. Well, what's wrong with Down syndrome? What's wrong with it? That's my son you're talking about. I'm not kidding you. Do you remember a while back when Asperger's was taken off, the name was taken off, and they put him on the spectrum disorder, and the Asperger's people went crazy. Wait a minute. Whoa. You can't do that. This is our thing. You're not going to lump us in with the rest of these folks, are you? Well, I don't know why you need a special name. Why we need a special name? We're different. We've been Asperger's the whole time. Wait a minute. This is what? You think I'm kidding, don't you? You got a problem with taking porcine eyes and valves and merging them? Forget the vegan jokes. You got a problem with that? Is that all right? Would God mind that? Would God? Answer the question. Especially all these people I know who are so hyper-religious. You got a problem with that? So, Henry Kissinger. Is Henry Kissinger? By the way, it's a great... I did a private video on my Lionel Media. And I make reference to a lot of stuff that Christopher Hitchens said. And Christopher Hitchens doesn't like Henry Kissinger. And Christopher Hitchens didn't like Mother Teresa. And my question, they said, why? He said, well, because he's a war criminal. Excuse me. Everybody in war is a war criminal. War is a crime. What are you talking about? What? See, I have no time for people who speak in this apodictic way about morality. Let me explain something to you. You are immoral. You just don't ever act on it. Your life doesn't involve you doing anything that involves morality. You don't handle large sums of money that you could see. You're not Bernie Madoff. You're not on the war. I mean, maybe, let's face it, most people, the only time they really get to this immorality is when you have to ask yourself, should I do this? Is maybe marital infidelity. A lot of people have been through that. A lot of people have had, well, should I, this is weird, But most of the time, come on. What do you, I'm moral. You don't have to ever act on it. What do you do that's so moral? Well, I don't hurt anybody. Oh, congratulations. 2, 3. There we go. There we go. All right. Now we're back. So, I don't know where I was. Let me pick up where I was. I don't know where you heard me. What do you think about having your son have Tommy John surgery before he needs it? You got a problem with that, anybody? Anything ethically wrong with that? Anything wrong with a doctor doing that? Your son is absolutely fine. Nothing wrong. Liz Solak, everybody. Liz is in the house. That's for you, Liz. LS, you're amazing. Any problem with that? No? Okay. You know what transhumanism is? Of course. What if I can go in and I start putting in steel rods in your legs? What if I can start doing right now when you're young? I got this new surgery. We'll replace your hip now. You'll never need a hip replacement for the rest of your life. You got better hips, better titanium. Don't wait. Your bones are, put these in now. Same thing with your eyes. Your eyes are going to get cataracts when you get around, whatever, certain years. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these things in, and we're going to make sure that you have these. We're going to have your eyes are going to be fixed now. Before you even, you got a problem with that? Anybody? Anybody? Anything bioethically wrong with that? Anything at all? Nothing? Let's start talking about neural links. Let's start talking about things to fix. Let's start talking about things to fix your head. Sky's the limit, right? No problem. Let me ask you a question. We have a woman who comes into our office. We are neurologists. We are neurosurgeons. This woman suffers from the worst, the most incredible PTSD you've ever imagined. She's been through the most horrific form of abuse, a trauma that you cannot even imagine. Okay? Horrible. And we have found out through transcranial electromagnetic stimulation and surgery that we can ablate, expurgate, expunge, amputate, excise, incise, remove, disconnect a particular wiring that will destroy this memory. It'll be like it never happened. It will never happen to her. Never. It never occurred. She goes from night terrors, can't sleep, drinking too much, drug abuse, self-harm because of this trauma. Goes in, next day, what trauma? What are you talking about? What are these marks from? Well, you tried to hurt yourself. Why? Oh, I don't know. Read these diaries you wrote. What am I talking about here? Was I hurt? Yes. When? You don't remember? No. Anybody got a problem with that? Anybody got a problem with that? Anybody? Anybody? I just took away a portion of your memory. It just never happened to you anymore. And I also find out that I've got this surgery down, so it's not even surgical. I can just point this beam at this particular part of your brain and get rid of it. Particular memories, not others. Let's say hypothetically. Let's say I go to a VA hospital. I'm saying, let me talk to your PTSD people. What do you have? Vietnam? Come here. How long have you had this? Since Vietnam. Can't sleep. Watch it. Vietnam. I can take away the whole Vietnam experience or maybe particular experiences. What are you talking? What's this purple heart I got? Hey, where's my leg? Well, something happened. What? But you know what? I can sleep at night. Good. Next thing you know, the word gets out, and instead of one person, I've got 1,000. I've got 1,000 people, and I'm just wiping out memory every single day. They're functionally okay. This never happened. It never happened. Pretty soon, the Vietnam War didn't happen. I can take people who've been through horrible war, those terrible events during World War II in Eastern Europe. Many of these people, by virtue of their age, are sadly dead now. But what if I were to be able to take out thousands of memories? The next thing you know, I've just destroyed history. You got a problem with that? Is there a problem with that? Tell me you don't see the problem with that. Tell me you don't see it. Tell me you can't see what's wrong with that? What if I could do this? Years ago, I mentioned this transcranial electromagnetic stimulation, and it works like this. They put this little device in your head. It looks like a fishing cap or a bathing cap, one of those old bathing caps that your mother would wear. You know, those bathing cap things. Anyway, they put it on your head, and it has magnets, and you can zero in on certain parts. Well, to make a long story short, years ago there was a guy who was doing an experiment, and he wanted to find out about OCD behavior. And he thought he kind of knew where it was, and he was, trying to zero in with these magnets. And, well, this one person he had found out that the person that he was doing this to, all of a sudden, just described this incredible love that she had for her boyfriend or husband or whatever. I mean, she was extolling the virtues of this love. She couldn't stop talking about it. And he thought, this is the oddest thing in the world. And he thought, wait a minute. What is love? What is that love affair for us? It's an obsessive compulsive disorder. It's exactly what it is. And she's going through this now. I just jump-started this. I took her back to where she was when she first met her boyfriend, or her husband now, where she's giddy and acting like a girl. Wait a minute. What if somebody comes to me and says, by virtue of the normal vicissitudes of life, some problems that have occurred, maybe infidelity, maybe a host of other problems, I am not able to, we're just not right. Can you give us a jump start? Absolutely. And let's say I were to artificially jumpstart a relationship by virtue of electromagnetic radiation or bio-neuronal chemical, whatever it is. And it's dead. If he betrayed her. He broke her heart. They should have separated. But you're coming along and you're saying, oh, no, I can fix it. And now they're back together again. What's going on here? When do you say, you can't do that? You can't do that. When do you say it's not nice to fool Mother Nature? Neuralink, I'm going to tell you a story, and I mentioned this I mentioned the LionelMedia.com, I did a story. Let me ask you a question. Anybody here believe in not UFOs, but EBEs, actual extraterrestrial biological entities, critters, these gray things? Anybody believe in them? Anybody believe in them? Well, first off, if you believe in them, I don't know why you would, because unless you've seen one, you don't know what it is. So you think you know what it is. You think, I think they're from other places. You don't know. I don't know. I've never seen one. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm probably erring on the side that, yeah, they exist. I think they exist. But I don't know. To say I believe in it, there's not enough evidence. I don't know what I'm watching. I don't know what I'm seeing, and I've heard about it. I know of the Tic Tac Man. Okay, fine. Well, years ago, there was a guy named Philip Corso in 1947, right around the time of Roswell. There's a book called Day After Roswell. And Corso believes, and some people thought he was full of prunes. Stanton Friedman wasn't a big fan. But anyway, he said that he believes that in 1947, when these things crashed, they took these things out, and they used their eyes to form the basis of night vision goggles by virtue of this, by their eyes. They found transistors, fiber optics, all this stuff, and telepathy. And telepathy was important because they didn't speak. They had little mouths. They didn't talk. That was ridiculous. Talking is the most ineffective means of communication there is. Why? Well, you might not be able to explain as best as others. You might not know as many words. You can't you go to a different country, you don't speak the language. But if we could speak thoughts, everybody understands each other perfectly. Because we would be conveying feelings. We wouldn't be conveying, some things maybe. Specifics might be tough, but the point is, telepathy is possible. Well, we obviously don't know how to do that. Or do we? Because lo and behold, after this, many people believe that some of this stuff was retro-engineered, reverse-engineered, and lo and behold, we were able to do this. There are people right now who are sitting there with devices, prosthetic arms on a table. They're not connected, and he's looking at this thing, and he's making the hand move by virtue of thought. Do you think God's got a problem with that? How do you know? What, do you speak for God now? Since I'm irreligious, I never even think about this, but I'm thinking, that's great. But where does it stop? And what happens if we now go from this, and Elon Musk does this Neuralink stuff, and you think, oh, this is terrific. But the next thing you know, you're going to have chimeric, transhumanistic morphemes. You're going to have DNA played with. You're going to have humans replaced with I don't know what. Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? When do you say, and that's enough? Now, wait a minute, hold it. It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. Or do you say, you just let it go? You just let it go. You don't worry about it. Science is just, don't worry about this. Just throw it against the wall and see what happens. What are you always so worried about? For the love of God, just go for it. Let her rip. Do you think that? What about man? Man and animal. I personally don't understand anything whatsoever, but I don't have your, I don't want to say idiosyncratic, but your devout faith in certain things. I don't see any problem with it at all. Nothing. So let me go back to my original question. Do you think that Henry Kissinger, that's where this started from, is immoral? Do you think he's a war criminal? Do you think he's evil? Do you think he's a bad man? Do you think Henry Kissinger is a bad man? Is he a bad man? Do you think so? Did you think that Harry Truman was a bad man? Ask somebody in Hiroshima. They'll say, you're damn right he was a bad man. He blew up, he dropped an atomic bomb. No, it was different. Why was it different? Now you're doing situation morality. You're doing situational relativistic morality. How do you know? This is the, let me just tell you something right now. Whether you dig this or not, you're going to see stuff that's happening, and also what's going to be interesting is you're going to see people who are able to use and tap into using the genius of artificial intelligence and using the whole notion of microtubules, as the Max Planck Institute indicated when they said that we could live indefinitely using the principles of quantum mechanics and these tubule configurations. You're going to see people who are going to hook in like a USB port to people who have died. They will be either holographic or whatever, but they will live forever. You're going to see everything change. And when genetics pick up, you're going to realize that certain things are going to be gone. And you're going to also want to go in there one day and you're going to say, you know what, we're going to have a child. And, I'm thinking to myself, I think I've read that kids who are taller do a lot better. In my family, they're not very tall. So I want my kid to be at least 6'2". And, we have dark hair in my family. And we found out historically, statistically, the people who have blonde hair, blondish, more sandy, they do much, much better. Nobody in my family has blonde hair because we're not, genetically from that particular part of the world, but we like that. And blue eyes, blue eyes do much, much better. So we want this. We also want to have predispositions against diabetes, hypertension, and mental illness. And pretty soon you're going to have this thing that looks nothing like you and isn't you. You think God's got a problem with that? Or does God say to you, no, wait a minute, I give you the brains, and if that's what your brains give you, go with it, no problem. What do you think God's going to say? What do you think God's going to do? Where does it work? Is it immoral? I don't think so. I don't think so. Why do you have to stick with what you have? Why is that moral? I don't understand it. Why is that immoral? Why is Henry Kissinger a war criminal? Harry Truman's a war criminal. William Westmoreland, LBJ, Nixon, John Kennedy. You drop bomb on these people had nothing to do with you. Why'd you go to Vietnam? Why'd you do that? Well, because of, communism. That's ridiculous. Why did we go to Iraq? Why did we go to Iraq? Why? Why are you doing this? You went and you targeted some bad guy, Salami or Salumi or whatever his name is, with a drone with a Hellfire missile. You're a murderer. No, we weren't. Yes, you were. How do you do that? So don't give me this business about, well, you see, he's immoral. Excuse me, we're all immoral. Everything that we do is immoral. Every single thing. And most people who you claim are so moral, they never have to make any moral decisions in their lives. Nothing. They've never had any deep morality, whether to take a life, let somebody go, fire a weapon into a guy. Never. You might find a wallet. And are people good? No. Most people are just not bad. Most people just don't. They're like, hey, how are you? He's a good man, isn't he? No, he's not. What does he do that's so good? No, he's a nice man. Well, why is he so good? Most people don't do anything that's good. They just don't get in the way. They don't hurt anybody. We have these weird ideas about morality and right and wrong and patriotism and what's good and what's bad and what's wrong and that. With all this talk about transgender, is it really that weird? Is it really? Why? Now, leave kids out of this. But is it really? People say, these people are mentally ill. I don't think they're mentally ill. They know exactly where they are. They're not hearing voices. They're able to work. We were walking today right by Lincoln Center. It was a beautiful day. And apparently there's some concert or something going on. And one of the musicians from this orchestra or whatever was obviously, I think, was a transgender man. It was a woman who looked like a man. Okay. And you could tell people were kind of looking at him like, oh. And I thought, what difference does it make? And not that, but okay. This person's very talented. Pays her taxes, those are his, whatever. And okay, this is a variation. Why is this so strange to you? Why is this so strange? And you look around. Do you see variation and variability and variety? I do too. Why is this? What is this? We think we know this is the way it is. This is normal, and that's not normal. Remember, kids are a different story. Kids are a different story. I told you this the other day. I think it's wrong for me to tell a kid, hey kids, you realize that 50% of all marriages end in divorce? Chances are that at least half of this class, mommy and daddy, are going to break up one day. Have a nice day. Now, is that fair? It's true. You shouldn't tell that kid that. Kid can't handle that. Kid can't handle that. That's where I draw the line. Not that what I'm saying isn't true. Kid can't handle that. Just like there are certain subjects. You don't do, 9th grade algebra in the 4th grade. Nothing wrong with algebra. They just don't understand it. Am I getting through to you? I don't think I am. That's okay. It's a lot for you to handle. And the reason why is simply this. You live in a world of children. Your world right now, your news is the most childish, apodictic, left and right, up and down, Manichaean, good guy, bad guy, left and right. He's good, he's bad. Trump is good, Biden is bad. Okay, and that's it. And they throw this at you. And they hate nuance. They hate, It's interesting. You will never, ever, ever watch anything on your favorite Fox News and say, that's interesting. Never. Because that scares them. All right, my friends, that's it. And I mean that sincerely. Today was a beautiful, beautiful day. We were walking on the Upper West Side, up Columbus Avenue. Beautiful. People were out, families, kids, ice cream, pizza. More restaurants than you on Columbus Avenue between like 68th through 75th. I mean, God. It's incredible. You cannot believe it's one street. Thousands of people. It was wonderful. Families, great weather. It was good. Now, were these people moral? Not necessarily. They were just doing regular things. I'm going to leave you with that, Don Corleone, because I don't want to bring too much to your attention. You're not ready for this right now. You're not ready. I understand it. But I am. It's who I am. I've been thinking about this all day. And I've been thinking about that Elon Musk fellow with Neuralink. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Starting off with somebody right now, helping somebody who's paralyzed, but deep down inside, that's not what you want to do. Your goal is not to end paralysis. This is your entree into changing the brain, jump-starting it and rewiring it. Hey, look, you have a great day. Thank you so much. Liz Solak, you're a good person. You're a good person, Liz Solak. Damn good person as far as I'm concerned. All right, friends, we'll see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. 8 a.m. in the morning, 8 a.m. on a Sunday for this Memorial Day weekend. Remember what Memorial Day is and what it isn't. Until then, dear friends, remember these words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dead.